A sudden and chaotic burst of humanity, breaking down the tower walls, breaking it open. Yes, that was the story last time. It came to me in my desperate moments of need, needing so much to have something to share, to keep this connection beyond story, beyond logic, beyond narrative, beyond whatever insecurities hold me with these invisible chains to false idols of expectation and promise and illusion and everything, I suppose. Just a writer at her computer trying to find the heart in it all, oscillating between monstrousness and humanity, trying so hard to do more good than harm, but at the same time trying to just live, enjoy it all, experience everything, the good and the bad, the light and the dark. How does she do that? Our narrator. Where is there room for joy? Our character who has, 17 episodes left before she disappears entirely. How must it happen? Will it be death? Will it be her destruction? Her complete disappearance? Which she has so greatly desired throughout all of this. All of these almost 300 stories, almost there, almost a supernova bursting through the sky. Billions and billions and billions of particles fluttering everywhere as she dreamed of rather loudly for so long. Or is it something else? I think it is something else. I feel it stirring inside of me. A little space opening up for her to walk through, to enter, to take over, to become something else, maybe, to become something more, or is it less? Anyway, it's all very well, don't worry, we will find it together. Where was I? Let me find her for us. Let me take a deep breath and become her. The narrator. I want her back for now. Let's have a little breath and let her come through. Good. Very good. Here I am. Welcome. Tower open through an enormous hole in the wall. Days of staring at the human hero, strapping and tall, standing in the sunlight to decide whether or not I want to take his hand. And what? What happens after that? The price of humanity is mortality, isn't it? I don't know. Trust me, he keeps saying, "Trust me, have faith, all will be well." But I'm not so sure. It's in the fluttering of my heart, it's in the molting of my wings. There is a whisper in the dark. I think it is the end of things. There is a cycle that must close, but when, but how, nobody knows. Nobody knows, nobody knows. And all around, the tempest blows. It's in the rain against my face. It's in the thunder as it rings. There is a whisper in my heart. Perhaps it is the end of things. There is a face we dare not show, but whose it is, nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And in the storm, my hunger grows. I have a human heart in me, where chaos is queen and loud she sings. There is a whisper all around, a human heart's a fragile thing. Yet more and more that chaos shows, and for what it longs, I think I know. I think I know. I think I know. Being a human, a fragile human, a longing, loving, selfish human. I think I know. I think I know. My human heart is all I know. Forgive me a little poetry on my part, distracting from the task at hand, which is this extended hand towards me. No longer pale, I see the blood pulsing through his veins. I feel the heat radiating from him. I hear his breath in his lungs that is needed and not performative anymore, and I realize that I am the dead one, until I take his hand and start it. Start what? The end. Yes, indeed. Somewhere out there, a writer pushed herself aside for a little to become me. And what I suspect, as she knows lurking in her mind, not quite so subtly as even her therapist said it almost immediately, is that it's getting harder to create because it is almost the end. If we can delay that, then we delay the end. I understand. Poor thing. Poor girl. But you see, the problem is that she needs it to. It is time to move on. I know we don't shut up about it. We can't, though. It's almost as though, Can you get ahead of the grieving process? Can you preempt grief? Even as you know all things must end, and even if that ending is desirable and necessary, as all are truly, don't you think? You know that grief will come, so what can you do? How can you soften the blow? Can you teach yourself to be strong and free? I don't know. Yet here I am, and trying. Is that what I'm doing? I'm deciding. If I take his hand, what happens? Do I become like him? Our story began with you as a dead thing and me alive. You taught me how to become dead so that I could have wings, be free, 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 ever freer, ever more freer, until finally here we are. Full circle. Me, dead. You alive now. And here you are teaching me to leave all of that behind and become alive again. I struggle, naturally, because the alive cannot get ahead of death. They can only succumb to it. So that is the decision. I keep talking of falling, surrendering, trusting. But how could I do that if I am unreachable, untouchable, indestructible, unreachable, as you once were? For everything you touched turned to dust. Handsome, gentle, alive, and here, with an offer. Trust me, he keeps saying. Trust me. Have faith. All will be well. But I'm not so sure. I ask him to tell me a story, something to help make the decision easier, something to soothe my fears about all this life talk. He does. He knows just what to say, even when I and my writer do not. He says, once upon a time, there was a human who stumbled on a tower. Once upon a time, there was an angel of death locked up within that tower, and the one set the other free. Which is you? Which is me? That's all that's true, and all that needs to be. A girl wrote about both human and angel again and again and again, and again and again and again and again. She became both again and again. There is illusion in both, and truth in both too. There is life in you, beloved, and there is also death in you. What have you learned, and what do you seek? Every once upon a time you write every week. Time to just live. It's time to let go. You deserve to have joy. You're allowed to not know. Expectation is tricky, and duty is hard. You explored it in 100 Arcana cards. You looked, and yet still couldn't find it. The truth you desire, and the freedom behind it. It's laughably simple. It may spell the end, but you asked for a story, so I'm telling you, friend. Go out and be human. Stop pretending you're not. You're lost in a story, you're wrapped up in thought. It can't all be pleasure. It can't all be plain. God, life can be hard. God, life's full of pain. But if you can make it beyond this refrain, I'll tell you the same story over again. Once upon a time, there was a human who stumbled on a tower. Once upon a time, there was an angel of death locked up within that tower, and the one set the other free. Doesn't matter who's you. Doesn't matter who's me. You know what is true. You know what needs to be. I said that I would become more, but the question is, more what? More monstrous, more spectacular, more bodiless? Or is it just more human? Having trouble keeping it all straight? Having trouble sticking to fiction when reality's at stake? Having trouble sleeping? Having trouble thinking? It's delightful, isn't it? Very, very human. I feel something. I feel it stirring inside of me. Let me find it. Let me take a deep breath and become it. Whoever I need to be, whatever that may be. Let's have a little breath and let her come through. There's more brown in my eyes than black now. There's a little tremor, that fluttering in my heart. Maybe a little more woman than monster, I think. I reach up to touch my face. Are you in there? I ask myself. Both of me, all of me. And I answer, yes, indeed. He's still smiling and human and reaching his hand out to me. And I take it. Not just to follow him, but because my warm hand wants to feel another warm hand. Good. Very good. Here I am. Welcome. The end is nigh, but I don't think it's here yet. Not quite, I don't know. But I can't promise anything. I can't promise I'll make it to a symmetrical number. I can only promise that I will try to keep talking until there is nothing else to say. I can't promise you'll like it, but I can't hate myself anymore. I worry about betraying everyone by doing what I need to do. But if I'm nothing but honest along the entire way, then can you hate me? Yes, of course you can. You can do whatever you want. But you know, in this liminal story space, I can't get out of yet again, yet again, yet again, yet again, yet again, yet again, yet again. I guess I want to ask you. You know who you are. If you feel any of this, do you feel sometimes that you are shut up inside your own expectations? Even worse, you think those expectations belong to others, towards you as well. do you know that you deserve to be happy and free? You may not be. You will not always be. But you deserve to try. $300 seems so far away. I am running out of words to say. I grow more human day by day. I fear my reason's gone away. But if you'll listen one more time, there's no reason it all has to rhyme. But out I go and up I climb. Oh, being human is sublime. It's good to have a beating heart, the prospect of a fresh new start, the pain as something falls apart. Oh, breaking can become an art. Aren't you tired of this pretend? There's only so much we can bend. Reality can become our friend, and truly, nothing ever ends. 300 seems such a long time. We are running out of towers to climb. But once more, now that it's bedtime, oh, being human is sublime. Sweet dreams. Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for listening to episode 283 of On a Dark, Cold Night. This is Kristen Zaza, your host, writer, narrator, composer, podcaster, creator behind the podcast. I don't really know what's going on. I'm just taking this process one step at a time, but doing the best I can to produce something honest and communicate the unease that tends to come with August. I just saw a TikTok about how August feels dreadful for everyone for some strange reason. Maybe it's the ending of the season. But if you happen to feel the same, I hope you liked my rhyming game. Sending my warmest thanks to everyone who supports the show on Patreon on a monthly basis. I'm so grateful, my friends, for everything you do in support of the show. On Patreon, every supporter of $1 or more a month US gets access to my complete and downloadable show soundtrack of over 270 tracks. Every supporter of $5 or more a month US gets that, a monthly tarot reading video uploaded every full moon, and a monthly bonus podcast episode every new moon where we just have a relaxing, long conversation, nice and sleepy together, where I engage with whatever kindred spirit tier patrons are discussing in the private community chat, or with me in private messages on Patreon, or just whatever's on the table any given month. There are also 70 mini episodes called Quick Moment Meditations that are available to $5 kindred spirit patrons as well. To learn more, visit patreon.com/darkcoldnight. You can donate one time only without any perks at ko-fi.com/darkcoldnight or by buying a t-shirt or a hoodie at bonfire.com/on-a-dark-cold-night. I also have a book available on Amazon called On a Dark, Cold Night, Tales of Loneliness, Creation, and Love. It's a collection of 28 stories from the podcast and a new preface, prologue, and epilogue exclusive to this book, with cover art by UK-based visual artist Newt. Available in paperback and Kindle ebook. Find out more at kristenzaza.com/book or by looking me up or On a Dark Cold Night, Tales of Loneliness, Creation, and Love on Amazon. And my 2 albums, Favorite Little Songs from On a Dark Cold Night, Volumes 1 and 2, are on Spotify, iTunes, and lots of other streaming services. I'd love if you checked those out. It would be wonderful if you left a rating and review wherever you could, like Spotify, Facebook, iTunes, or anywhere else you can. You can follow me on social media on Instagram at Dark Cold Night Podcast, Facebook and YouTube under On a Dark Cold Night, Twitter at A Dark Cold Night, and Blue Sky and TikTok at Kristen Zaza. Thank you again for listening, my friends. I'm truly so grateful. There's a full moon on the day when this episode is released, and I hope it brings you some clarity, some care, and maybe a joyful culmination of whatever this lunar cycle has brought you. Lots of love and good rest to you. Good night. This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network. Sonar.